Hello everybody, UofCWildcat here with something new and something I'll hopefully be able to continue going on into the future. This is my first top 10 and it's one that I feel most people can find common ground on. The NCAA franchise is one of great importance to huge college football fans everywhere. I myself am a huge college football fan and NCAA has a special place in my heart. So, for the first UofCWildcat Top 10, I will be doing the top 10 additions or enhancements needed for NCAA 14. A warning for my viewers though, this is my own personal opinion. If you have something you would love added, please leave a comment below. I love all the positive and even the negative feedback that I get because it'll help make this channel grow and become a better product for you guys. Because remember, this is all for you guys. So let's start up this machine and get the top 10 rolling.
He chucks it downfield. Pulls it in and he's in the open field.
Coming in at the number 10 spot is the need for a budget system. There are so many things that could span out of this. The one thing I would love to see is the hiring of assistant coaches added to the offseason task right before recruiting picks back up. This would add another wrinkle to an already great offseason process. These coaches could have bonuses in the recruiting trail or even help your current players progress. They could also get plugged for head coaching positions elsewhere if they're really that great of assistants. This would add another level that you must appropriately manage money to pay for such a good assistant. Add to that, being able to enhance your stadium and other facilities, the money would begin to stretch thin and tough choices would need to be made. You could even earn money for performing well during the season. Say I win a bowl game, your team gets a bonus. You win your conference championship, add some more money in my pocket. Beat your in-state rival, throw me some more money, boosters, I'm doing well, aren't I? That way, the better you play, the more money you have. And the more money you have, the better your team can become and the facilities will improve much, much more.
He chucks it downfield. Pulls it in and he's in the open field.
Something you may have noticed or wanted to even participate in is conference realignment. But when you get close to losing a conference, it stops you at 4 teams. What the hell? This is absurd. I don't want the Big East to be around anymore. Hell, it's the big least in my eyes. Why can't I just banish them from existence? Also, we have the WAC actually being dismantled here in the near future. The addition and removal of conferences is a must in the next game. If I want to make the big least vanish, or even combine the remainder of the WAC teams with the Mountain West teams, I should be able to. It's not much, EA. Maybe even let us rename some conferences, and have some conference logos from the FCS. What if I want the Ivy League? I want to add it. What if I want to replace the entire FBS with FCS teams? That should be a viable option. It's a minor add, but could do a lot for us hardcore online Dynasty players.
He chucks it downfield. Pulls it in and he's in the open field.
If you've been playing NCAA for a while, you may have noticed the sidelines, or the lack thereof. They're honestly just dreadful. Nothing about them looks good. I mean, there looks to be little to no effort put into them. The players look horrible, they look scarce as hell, and there is zero amount of reaction to anything big. If I get a huge kick return or a big turnover, I want to see the rest of my team jumping up and down, being ecstatic, and maybe even show some signs of life. Watching on Saturdays, when there is a big return, you see a good chunk of the team running with them, but instead, we have players just standing there, like a wall. Also, the fans look like rubbish. They have few cutscenes where they'll go to the fans and then make some kind of effort to do something, but there needs to be more. If I'm lowly Vanderbilt and I just upset top 10 Florida, please, just storm the field. I mean, it's probably one of the best sights to see in college football when there's a huge upset and you just see the field overrun by fans. That shouldn't be too hard, right?
He chucks it downfield. Pulls it in and he's in the open field.
Going along with number 8, I would love to see some new presentations. I want Brett Musburger and Kirk Herbstreit doing my commentary for the game of the week. I want Vern Lutquist commentating my SEC games. I want Carter Blackburn and Rod Gilmore doing my Upset Aplenty Friday night games. I even want all the other announcers who do the daytime games. The commentary now is just worn out. and I just want to hear some new gosh darn commentary instead of Kirk Herbstreit's bland, overused lines over and over and over again.
You know what? After a play like that, I wouldn't be the least bit surprised if they went to the air again.
It's to the point where my buddies and me can nearly quote them word for word. New script and even some new presentation would add a lot of depth to an already great game. Even add CBS and ABC broadcast animations. I know money can be tight, but it would bring so much more to this game.
He chucks it downfield. Pulls it in and he's in the open field.
The BCS is full of critics. Either people love it or they hate it. I don't know many people who are so about it. And due to that, the NCAA will be having a playoff system in 2014. Since they're going to have that soon, I want to be able to have the option in NCAA 14 to have either a playoff system or stick with the old BCS Bowl format. But don't only give me the 14 playoff that we're going to have, but give me some options to set up however I want. If I want an 18 playoff that only takes the conference champions, that should be easy. If I want a 16-team playoff with only BCS, AQ conference champions, and then have BCS at large added, that should be no problem. If I want to stick to the BCS Bowl setup right now, because I'm old-fashioned and I don't want to find a true champion, let me be a bum. Just give me the options. I know I'd play it a lot more if you gave me those options to choose from. Plus, it would appeal to a lot more people who are into certain types of postseasons. It's possible. So let's make it happen, EA.
He chucks it downfield. Pulls it in and he's in the open field.
Madden has them, and they've been out for about a year now. So I think NCAA needs to jump on this as soon as possible. And that's a real physics engine. While I do think it has shown some bad spots in Madden, I think this is a must for NCAA. Right now, there are just so many things that get to me with this game. When my 245-pound fullback or tight end are getting hit by sub 200-pound corners or safeties, my man should at the very least fall forward. But time and time again, I see my guy getting bullied around like a helpless second grader against a 5th grade bully. And when my guard is pulling and can't block the corner, I'm mad. Like furious. My guy should be getting pancakes like it's the damn IHOP. Nothing is more frustrating. Well, almost nothing.
He chucks it downfield. Pulls it in and he's in the open field.
This one is for those of you who are really big into the online Dynasty competitive scene. We need more users in the online Dynasties. Right now, Madden's got all 32 teams locked up, and we only have 12. While I want to be playing more user games than computer games, most people don't like the idea of all being in one conference, because at that point, people are getting shafted, while some people are getting Floridas and LSUs, others are getting Kentuckys and Ole Miss teams. That's understandable. So we all split up into 2, 3, or even more conferences. This forces us to play a lot of computer games, which at a certain point, they become gimmies. I want to feel like every game matters, just like it does in real life. So the more user games to play, the more battles I'm forced to play. I know what most of you think. That's too many user games. Or that will push advances too far. Or even worse, I don't even have 11 friends. It's okay. There are sites where these things can be organized. I'll throw the link in the description if you really want to get into the competitive online Dynasty scene. If you're not into all that organization, that's okay. But this next one needs to be fixed.
He chucks it downfield. Pulls it in and he's in the open field.
A more competitive computer. Is that too hard to ask? I mean, right now, we have a slider system that's pretty unpredictable at times. The line is so fine between too easy and just unbelievably hard. I just want there to be a mode or a way to make the computer competitive. And I'm not talking about the computer going apeshit on me, aka God mode. I'm not talking about the psychic DBs who know where the ball is without even looking. And I'm not even talking about the psychic defenses who know what play I'm switching to when I'm auto-bowling. I want to play a computer and I want it to feel like a battle of the minds. The only time games are close versus the computer is when I have a few turnovers and the game decides I'm not winning. Basically, I don't want to see a small halfback break 5 tackles in one play and then break it off for 6. I want the game to feel like a chess match, just like every user game is. A battle of the wits, not a battle of who can overcome God mode.
He chucks it downfield. Pulls it in and he's in the open field.
People have been begging for it, and I know for a fact I'm one of those people. We want a Spectator Mode. This was almost my number 1, but it really just missed out. Say number 1 is facing off against number 2 for a national title, but you aren't in the game. I want to watch the game. Or when a big game that's going to impact your conference or national title chances, I want to watch the damn game. Is that too much to ask for? It doesn't even really have to be that big. Maybe even just a score update type of thing like ESPN Gamecast. It could be very basic. Just something that will give me more than the score. I'm not too fond of watching through the Xbox live screen, having the scores randomly change while staring at a plain, non-changing screen. Even watching the lines for the Gamecast isn't half as bad compared to having to watch that Xbox live screen. Now that we're almost at the top spot, let's do a little recap. At number 10, a budget system. At 9, the ability to add and remove conferences. At number 8, improving the sideline and fan interaction. Number 7, new and more commentaries. Number 6, adding the playoffs and keeping the BCS. At number 5, a physics system. Number 4, more users in the online Dynasty. Number 3, Competitve Computers. And number 2, a Spectator Mode. And now, for the number 1 spot,
He chucks it downfield. Pulls it in and he's in the open field. Touchdown, Brigham Young!
you're playing a close game. Things are tight, and you're playing one of the top users in your online Dynasty. You're about to pick a play, boom! Please wait with a little rotating icon appears. You hold your breath, hoping it'll go away. You finally choose your play, BAM! You've lost connection to your opponent. This is by far the worst thing about NCAA. The amount of times where I've been in a high-intense game and have been disconnected is honestly just unacceptable. The usual plan of action is to strike up another game and play out the remaining time, and whoever won finishes out the game and plays to realistic stats. This is such a far-fetched idea that it shouldn't even be a problem. With games like Call of Duty and Halo having their own servers, why can't EA get one? I know it's a lot to ask, and I know it could be a real unreasonable thing to ask. But for the love of God, I don't want to lose out on a big game just because one of us doesn't have the perfect connection. And if we do, why can't we just rejoin the game? That would be even better. Re-establish connection and having the game with the same stats, same momentum factor, and possible injuries. It's all a matter of not feeling cheated either way. I have been on the end where I'm losing, and it really feels cheap. I've also been on the end where I'm winning and I feel like I got hit by a truck because I don't know where the game's going and I know it won't be the same game. This may not be a feasible option, but it's one I feel NCAA really needs. That's my top 10 additions or enhancements needed for NCAA 14. Please leave a comment below with your opinions and also leave a like rating if you like the video. I love reading all the comments. It all helps me out in the end too. Also leave a comment on top 10s or other videos that you would like to see in the future in this channel. I'm very open to you guys' opinions. As always, thanks for tuning in. UofCWildcat signing out.